On a curious note, as I've never had anyone to ask that, how do you get out of a burnout? Been in it for a little too long, and lately it's been to the point of making it difficult to find interest in my own hobby. Okay, so this is perfect because last year, right before I started streaming, I was at a breaking point with being an artist. I was practically done with it. Like the last so clap, get in the business. So let me pull up something here, all right? Gonna be pulling up something real quick here. That is a saucy piece. So you see this, chat? You see this piece of art here? This was like the last thing that I did that I was proud of last year before I got into live streaming. Last full illustration that I was just like, okay, I feel burned out. This is what made me realize that as much as I love this piece, and this had nothing to do with that, it's just that for a while, up until I made this piece, I was feeling really drained because for the longest time, like this is all that I was doing creatively on the internet was just art, and that's it. And no lie, I felt pretty miserable too because it was really hard for me to like make connections with other people like me as well, because being a Twitter artist be damned, all right? It sucks. It sucks. I'll just say it up front. It sucks. I've had a lot more fun in making and getting to know peers on Twitch than in all my time on Twitter. I've met a lot of really real and cool people that I've been able to resonate with on here and honestly call peers. And that's like one of the biggest accomplishments for me. But yeah, no, was feeling burned out. But for a while, I had been wanting to live stream. And most definitely, I had also wanted to try VTubing, but like I did not know how to even get into like making a live 2D model. I absolutely did not have the money for that. And just I wanted, if anything had to be surefire, I had to start streaming on April Fools. For a couple years, I told myself I gotta start streaming on April Fools because I want people to think that I'm joking about live streaming and not really being all that much of just solely an artist anymore. I wanted to surprise people. Now I feel that I can't self-advertise for shit outside of Discord, and I don't even self-advertise. People just ask me to draw from. It's not even about like self-advertising either all that much. It's like so many times it's just like an artist. I felt really lonely. I felt kind of like an island because it's like as much as I hate using it as like a label these days because I don't really identify with it as like a main thing anymore. I call myself like more adjacent to it these days. You could call me a furry artist, especially back then, and you still could today, but like there were really other artists in that scene that were like me. There still aren't really all that much. I mean, there's definitely more than there used to be, and I'm very happy about that. But like I'm like a hard sell for people in that scene. I really am. If I wanted to like really resonate with people in that, like I'd have to do something that I don't like, and that's like a lot of cutesy stuff that I'm just not really all that much about. Like I love cute, but like I don't really want to draw like toony stuff, you know? I found like because like for the longest time I was doing like a lot of cell shaded-esque character portraits before moving on to more painterly illustrations like this, you know? But no, I felt very disconnected as like an artist and just person in that fandom in general. Yeah, you were there! And just incredibly difficult to get to know people. Oh, you know what? You know what's kind of close enough to it? You know what's kind of close enough to what I'm talking about? This is kind of close enough to what I'm talking about, is this little character portrait here. This one was a more like dynamic and busy one than the others that I'm talking about, but it's close enough. It's right before I started really getting out of my comfort zone and getting into the more thought-provoking and painterly stuff. And then I like transitioned into what I do most of these days and what I showed before this one, after somebody told me when I was having a bad night, like, Graphi, have you ever just thought about painting out your feelings? And I kind of just sat there for a moment like, you know what? No. And it was like the smartest thing that anybody could have told me at that time, because from that point on, like, I ended up making like a lot of paintings that, yeah, they were kind of like vent art that meant more than just what you would see. But it was also always interesting to eventually post it or share it with people, and then they tell me what they thought of what I just made. And yes, like an Among Us. And just how it came across to them. You got stuff like this, or even something like this. And I'll get into this one in a little bit. This actually does go back to oh, this one was another good one too. This one with the flower. That was a good example of it as well. This is like one of my favorite ones actually. But yeah, this one like goes back to this and another piece that I think I forgot to upload here. Did I? No, I did not forget to upload here. Cool. Yeah, this one as well. I'll get into like why these are like a big deal for me. And this as well. This is just a bigger view of it. Is that like, you know, it's mainly just like stuff that like evocative of things that I was feeling at the time. And I tried to like express myself and express what I was feeling through art in general. And it was always interesting to see what people thought of it. But then, you know, it would end up leading into very interesting outcomes to where all of a sudden I had like a theme going on with a few of them where it's like, wait a minute, I think I got an idea going on. Basically, now conceptual pieces of story for a project that I want to explore in the future. As for the medium that it would be told in, I don't know. I'll just do whatever comes to me as the right choice. Like, so far, what comes across to me as the right choice is learning something like RPG Maker and making something out of that. And yes, you do recognize those TVs, don't you? Yeah, I did reuse the background for this for my stream setup when I started. And then came the 1-year anniversary this past April Fool's, where I got to reveal my whole new model and that this whole place got recreated in Blender. Thanks to Nick. But like, I've been doing this for so long that, and just feeling alone, but also felt like I was being tugged in a different direction. I wanted to start live streaming because I thought to myself, you know, I'm a very shy person. I'm a very quiet, meek kind of guy, but I also have a lot to say and I want to get out of my shell more. And I think streaming would help with that. And I think it also helped me with potentially meeting more people like me and new people that, for all I know, I'll probably like them a lot. And now here I am. Especially after like I found out that like, no, wait a minute, I don't have to make a live 2D if I want to get into this. No, I can start with a PNG. I can start with a PNG tuber. I figured that I could start with a PNG tuber, especially after finding out about them in just passing, you know? Like, I wasn't aware that PNG tubers were really a thing until I found out about them out of nowhere while I was hanging out with Glitch Kitten in a Discord call one night. And then I... don't tell them this. I was not watching them at the time. I didn't know who they were. I did not know who they were, and I wouldn't find out who they were until after I started streaming. I randomly in passing saw an artist post their PNG tuber commission for none other than who we've rated into a few times before and vouched for the quality of their video essays. Seriously, you guys should check them out. I saw like the commission they got for a PNG of their own, and I'm just like, wait a minute, PNG tubers are a thing. GK, look at this. This is amazing. I could do something like this. And then that led into, you know, basically how I started up entirely. And yes, you know what? Before anybody asks, that coming full circle and finding out who was and then recognizing them and being like, wait a minute. I recognize this character's design. Oh my god. It's them. They don't know that, by the way. Don't rat me out. But that was a funny coincidence when that happened eventually. Oh gosh, I'm trying to talk about my projects more. I so do not want my day job and want other people to throw money at me. That's always a nice feeling though. To feel that kind of support from people who really like your work. But yeah, after I got into streaming finally, after like considering it for like a couple of years, I noticed, you know, I was growing more as a person. I was growing into my own more and gaining more self-confidence overall. To where it's like, I wouldn't even recognize myself from when I started doing this, or even before then. Like, I've just ended up turning into like a completely different person, but like in a good way, you know, in a growth kind of way. And that entire first year of streaming last year, yes, I was burnt out from art, but at the same time, doing this consistently and enjoying it made me miss doing art to the point where, like, well, here I am now. I'm doing art again at the same time as what's basically like kind of sort of my main thing now. And it's very nice. I couldn't be happier with how things have turned around and come full circle. And you know what? I'll go ahead and take that hot load after yapping so much. But yeah, basically, moral of the story, whatever you walk away from what I've been yapping about with, if you feel burnt out on something that you felt like has been your passion for the longest time, do something else that's calling out to you. Straight up. Do literally anything else that you feel like you could see yourself committing to and growing something new from, you know? Sometimes doing something new and seeing where that takes you is really all it takes. It's very nice to do something different for once and just see how that turns out. I think it's a lot of having to reflect on what's blocking you while also not quite dwelling on the art block to begin with. You instead took the time to focus your energy to something else, which eventually turned it back into your passion. Yeah. No, like a lot of this whole venture has been like another outlet for creative self-expression. Because I didn't want to give that up. But at the same time, I wanted to figure out a new way to do it. And now look where it's at. look where it's ended up at. One year later, you've now made 2 live 2D models. No, something so goddamn difficult like the back of your hand. And have several skills to go about things with. And just overall a much more improved person. Now you have this community of troublemakers, and I couldn't be happier. I'm so happy to have all you little crumb cakes, you little troublemakers, you little guys. You little guys.